Back to the Future is one of my favorite movie franchises, but what does that have to do with Magical Girls? Well, today I'm going to tell you 4 references to Back to the Future in Magical Girls series. Who am I? My name is Ayumi. I am the #1 PreCure fan in the world, and probably one of the top Magical Girl fans in the world. I've watched over 300 shows in the genre, and I have talked about Magical Girls for over 200 episodes of my podcast, Sparkle Side Chats with Magical Girl Ayu. Hey, that's me. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite movie franchises and how it relates to Magical Girl series. Actually, back in the day on Twitter, I used to play a game called 6 Degrees of Magical Girls, where I would connect every piece of media ever that's not Magical Girls to a Magical Girl series, and it was always a lot of fun. Maybe one of these days I'll bring that back. But for now, let's look at the 4 times that I know of. There might be more that you can tell me about in the comments that Back to the Future was referenced in Magical Girls. And the last one will definitely surprise you, especially if you're a longtime Precure fan. Anyways, let's get into it. #1, very short, very sweet. Star Detective Precure is coming February 1st. We're very excited for the premiere of a new Precure season. One of the characters that they have announced at the start of the season is Jet Senpai, who is a fairy, who is an inventor, and has a human form, and his human form looks suspiciously like Doc Brown. But it's really funny to imagine that Doc Brown is a fairy now, just by way of this character design. Next one, we're gonna jump back to 1990 to Magical Angel Sweet Mint, which had an entire episode that was a reference to Back to the Future. For those who don't know, this is one of those lesser known Magical Girl series just because it didn't do very well in Japan, which is too bad because it's actually amazing. This is one of those classic magical princess comes to the human world and so on type stories, going all the way back to Sally. And it's done by the same folks who did Minky Momo. There's an episode where her parents get into a little bit of a fight, the king and queen of the magic world. And so the queen, Queen Lime, decides to stop by the human world to give her daughter a visit. And when she does, in order to not stand out, she disguises herself as a human, specifically a 17-year-old human who looks suspiciously like Jennifer from Back to the Future. I watched this last year, and the way my eyebrows perked up when I saw that design. She ends up accidentally walking in on a movie set where director Spitzberg is working with actor Marvel E. Fox. They end up casting Queen Lime in the role as the love interest. Anyway, it's a very silly episode, but such a fun little treat for nerds. And that also goes into the other reference I have, which is also of the time, and that is to Himitsu no Ako-chan, specifically the 80s reboot. The ending for this series is really, really fun because it's a whole bunch of Hollywood movie references that has Akko in the center. In the final frame, we see Marty McFly Akko as well. It's just a lot of fun. I love this entire sequence, so that's just like a short reference, but a delightful one nonetheless. Which leads us to the final reference. Remember, I saved best for last. So remember how I said that Precure referenced Doc Brown with the design for Jet Senpai? Well, they've done that before because actually Marty McFly was the visual reference for one Koji Kokoda. That's right, Coco the fairy is Marty McFly in design and probably not much else. But of course, because Michael J. Fox was just oh so handsome in those movies, it makes perfect sense. Um, so that's something to think about when you see Coco the Fairy and Jet Senpai the Fairy. Just remember that those are Back to the Future references when you think about it. Anyway, that's all for today. Let me know if you know of any other Back to the Future references or any other popular Hollywood movies. I'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, etc. In the comments. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will see you for the next one. Bye bye.